Yes, good morning, Rachna ma'am. Good afternoon, Rachna ma'am.
Good afternoon,
Very,
Sangeeta
very warm
ma'am.
welcome to you. Very warm
Thank you
welcome
so
to you,
much.
ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Tanish, we'll wait for principal ma'am to start for the event. Children, we'll just wait. Ma'am is just arriving and then we will only start. We can keep our music on till then, Tanish. Tanish, we can keep the music on. Let everyone be entertained, if
Good
possible.
afternoon, Rachna ma'am.
Hello.
Hello, ma'am. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Nice to see you.
Is this Meenakshi?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh.
A very warm welcome to Lalit sir also. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us for this event.
Thank you, ma'am.
Good evening, Melissa.
Good evening, Rachna ma'am. How are you, ma'am?
I'm fine, sir. Doing well. Thank you so much.
Yeah, it's very nice to see you after a long time.
Me too, sir. Same
Yeah.
feelings here.
Yes, yes, ma'am. So, but now I think we must welcome to you now this time, huh? As a judge.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much.
Yes,
It's
yeah,
like a privilege to be the part of this program.
yes, ma'am. Yeah.
Thank you so much. We'll be just be starting shortly, sir. Ma'am is just arriving and then we will start, sir.
Okay, ma'am. Okay. I think
Tanish, we can
Richa
have a
ma'am is
music.
lot of
Yes, sir.
at this time. Richa ma'am is doing lot of online program, na?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay. Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon.
Tanish, we can start now.
Right. Am I audible? Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible, Vita. Please start.
Okay. Okay. Start. In the words of Greta Thunberg, climate crisis has already been solved. We already have the facts and the solutions. All we need to do is wake up and change. Good afternoon to our esteemed judges, guests, principal ma'am, and all the participants who are aiming for excellence. On the behalf of the entire fraternity of Amity International School Sector 46 Gurugram, I like to welcome you all to Technovity. We strive to make this a platform to encourage students to think outside the proverbial box and come up with creative solutions to problems which we may face today or tomorrow. This is a platform wherein students work on projects and carry home some pertinent skills such as critical thinking, problem solving, collaboration, and efficient communication. Organizing this event would not have been successful without the blessings of a founder president, Sir Dr. Ashok K. Chauhan, and a beloved chairperson, ma'am, Dr. Mrs. Amita Chauhan. In the light of their love, guidance, and support, we have been able to conduct this event on a virtual platform even in these unprecedented times. We hope to make this an effort which enhances social skills and builds relationships, as well as promotes teamwork, spontaneity, confidence, trust, creativity, and also broadens our horizons. Now we will have a traditional and auspicious lamp lighting ceremony with our principal ma'am and guests and the judges. I request everybody to rise for the occasion. So, our esteemed principal, ma'am, Mrs. Aarti Chopra, is a dedicated educationist with over 28 years of experience in the field of education as a teacher, mentor, trainer, planner, skill developer, and a tireless worker for the cause of children education. Is a firm exponent of amalgamating modern skills with traditional values. I would like to request Principal Ma'am to please address this August gathering.
Thank you so much, Tanish. Thank you so much. Very good evening, distinguished judges of today, faculty members, students from different schools, and their teachers. We are indeed very privileged that we had such a vast number of students take part in Technovity, our Adult Tinkering Labs initiative. We are equally proud of our Honorable Chairperson and our Founder President, whose vision has let us all grow in this direction so that today our children are initiators and they are able to organize and manage the events entirely on their own. I'm so happy that we are creating new milestones for ourselves and setting new benchmarks every year. And students, year after year, are bettering themselves in terms of acquiring new traits to acquire greater heights to reach the global benchmarks of perfection. Technovity is a great concept and it is amalgamation of the dreams as well as endeavors of our chairperson to see that every Amitian should be a budding entrepreneur or innovator. Amity University itself is a place which is known for its patents. We are in Amity innovation driven, and it is really a pleasure to see right from the younger years, grade 5, 6 onwards, our students through Vasudha and Mathemati start creating new concepts, projecting them in novel ways. Through research and surveys, they try to create new knowledge. Many of them have achieved great heights. Only recently we got to know that 2 of our models have been shortlisted for IRIS. Our students have reached Wharton finals, NASA finals, and every year, every batch is trying to do better than the previous one. Without any further ado, I would love to see today's event, that is exhibition. I would like to see how children have performed and projected their learning experiences. Thank you so much once again, Tanish, and you can proceed with the rest of the program. A warm welcome to everyone once again.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for encouraging words. We're honored to have as a judge Mrs. Rachna Pachauri. She has a master's in zoology and a bachelor's degree in education. She has recently earned a certificate in a course of food and nutrition from Stanford University and has completed a course on psychological first aid from John Hopkins University. She is currently working as a freelancer and researcher, content developer, and education communication expert.
Thank you so much, Tanish.
We welcome you, ma'am, with a virtual Tulsi sapling. A very, very warm welcome to you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. It's a great pleasure for me to be here. Thank you.
Thank you.
We also have as a guest Dr. Lalit Mittal. He has a doctorate in physics, has published many papers in national and international journals. He has 22 years of experience in the field of teaching and research. We're truly honored to have you, sir.
Sir, a very warm welcome
Thank
to
you.
you. We welcome you with the
Thank you.
Tulsi
Thank
sapling,
you.
sir. Thank you so
Yeah,
much for
thank you,
being with
ma'am.
us today. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much, ma'am.
Now, coming on to today's event exhibition. Herein, students were given a finite time frame wherein they were supposed to provide a solution for some problems that were provided in the prompt documentations, and now they are supposed to be presenting it in front of our esteemed panel of judges while testing the presentation skills, innovation, and research.
Okay, two prompts were given out. One was based on microplastics. The other one was based on circular economy. So the presentation order for today is DPS 45, AIS Vasundhara 6, DPS Sushant Lok, AIS Pushp Vihar, and AIS Mayur Vihar. These are the 5 schools shortlisted from all the schools that submitted from all across North India.
Right. So for the competition to be smooth and successful, we require the participants' cooperation and expect them to abide by general specifications. The attendees are expected to always keep themselves on mute until it's their turn to speak. Switch on their cameras when presenting. Queries and clarifications are to be done in the chat box or by raising hands. So, finally, for the moment we've all been waiting for, I would like to ask the teams to buckle up and let's commence Technovity exhibition.
Before we go any further, I'm very proud to welcome Dr. Lalit Mittal, who is amongst us today. Lalit sir, we
Thank you.
extend a
Thank you,
warm
ma'am.
welcome to you. We are so happy that you
Thank you,
could
ma'am.
take out time. And
Yeah,
children,
thank you.
Lalit sir is Amity Child Congress is there and is doing so well, all because of sir's efforts. So we are honored with your presence. And we are so happy to have
Thank you very
Rachna
much.
Pachauri. Rachna Pachauri, ma'am, warm welcome to you too.
Thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Please continue, children.
So we would like to start with our presentations. The first one being
DPS Sushant Lok, could you please share your screen?
I think so. It's DPS 45 first.
DPS 45 first.
Sorry.
And we have Achyut Kumar Rai from DPS 45. Please share his screen. Thank you.
Just a second. Good afternoon, teachers and my dear friends. Today we are going to talk about microplastics or the prevalent evil.
Let us know about microplastics. Microplastics are small pieces of plastics that range from 5 mm to 0.001 mm. Plastics particles even smaller than 0.001 mm are known as nanoplastics.
There are two types of microplastics, primary and secondary microplastics.
Primary microplastics are used by factories for their industrial uses. After their use, they are not disposed of perfectly and they are discharged into the nearby water bodies, which are connected to the ocean. As a result, they pollute the ocean floor. Professor Thompson of Plymouth University discovered that these microplastics are also present in toothpaste and cosmetics.
The creation of secondary microplastics is from the degradation of larger plastics products once they enter the environment through natural weathering processes. First, the big plastic pieces are broken down with the help of waves of the ocean and the ultraviolet radiation from the sun. And then they are converted into smaller particles called secondary microplastics. One of the common microplastics which was found in ocean was PET plastic, which is the constituent of water bottles.
Microplastics are really dangerous and have many disadvantages. The microplastics can absorb toxic substances and when they enter our bodies, they can kill us or any other living organism. Pathogens also live on them and thus microplastics also help in the spread of diseases. Plants absorb these microplastics, they get contaminated and in return the whole food web is contaminated. Animals eat these contaminated microplastics or plants and when they are served on a plate, they can make us ill too. The plastic bottles which contain mineral water are dangerous because they are swarming with microplastics as when these bottles are recycled, the plastic of the bottle is shredded into smaller particles of microplastics.
Facts about microplastics. It is estimated that there are around 15 to 51 trillions of microplastic floating all around us, which totally weigh up to 93,000 or to 236,000 metric tons. Students in Arizona University discovered that these microplastics are present in every human tissue. Besides ocean, microplastics can be found everywhere, every source of water available to us. At least 8 million tons of plastic enter the ocean each year. That's like emptying a garbage truck of plastic into an ocean every minute.
Microplastics particles can accumulate polychlorinated biphenyls, PCBs, other chemicals also which are very harmful for our health. It can cause various types of cancers, a weakened immune system, and reproductive problems, and more. The latest findings show that they can also accumulate with human organs, including the kidneys, liver, and lungs.
Adverse effects of microplastics on marine life. Marine life is severely affected by microplastics in the following ways. The microplastics present in the oceans are swallowed by zooplanktons, which is how they enter our food chain. Then these planktons are eaten by the small fish, who in turn are eaten by predatory fish or crab or oysters. Then these animals are eaten by us and they can harm us too. After that, we release microplastics and other plastics in the water bodies. Then the cycle continues.
Here's an animation showing how zooplankton eats microplastics and these are further eaten by the small fishes.
There are some solution in research based, however, at the moment they look expensive, so it is best strategy is to reduce the use of microplastics. Conventional wastewater treatment processes efficiently remove microplastics from the wastewater despite efficient removal, final effluents can act as excellent route of MPs given the large volumes constantly discharged into the aquatic environment. This study investigated the removal of MPs from effluent in four different municipal wastewater treatment plants utilizing different advanced final stage treatment technologies.
Here are some ways to prevent plastics and other microplastics. We can minimize production of single-use plastic water bottle and instead we can use steel or copper water bottle for drinking water. We can also minimize the use of packed food and eat homemade tiffins and we should also stop using plastic bags, plastic cups, plates and cutlery. We can use cloth bags, cooler cups, banana leaves or bamboo or wooden cutlery. We should also stop using synthetic footwear and instead we can use cloth footwear. Those facts could hurt banalize
The
or
case
badly
study of
for
Arctic
countries.
ecosystem.
We should
The
also stop
ecosystem of
using
Arctic is
synthetic
unique
footwear
and
and instead
fragile
we can use cloth
ecosystem that
footwear.
needs to be
Those facts
preserved and
could hurt
protected. Despite
banalize
its
or badly
remoteness,
for
plastic pollution has
countries.
been documented in this region. In the coming years, it's likely to worsen since with climate changes and the opening of new shipping routes, the human presence is going to increase in the whole area. Here we investigated the presence of microplastic in subsurface water and in two mid-trophic level Arctic fish collected from northeast Greenland. Thank Let us all come together to minimize the use of microplastics from the environment. Let us all come together to minimize the use of microplastics from the environment. Let us all come together to minimize the use of microplastics from the environment.
As rightly said by Kevin Bacon, and I quote, "We are being choked to death by the amount of plastic that we throw away. It's killing our oceans." Good afternoon, spectators and esteemed dignitaries on the dais. I'm Aryan Pandey, along with Ripunjay Vashisht, and we are here to expound you all about the fatal mini pollutants, the microplastics. These mere film of plastic less than 5 millimeter is choking marine life.
Let us do our part. Microplastics have become a growing source of ocean plastic pollution in the recent years. These microbeads or microplastics are found everywhere, including body scrubs, toothpaste, and body washes, and they readily enter our ocean and waterways through our sewer system. Microplastics have turned into a threat to human health and human life. These microplastics can cross the hardy membrane, protecting the brain from many foreign bodies. Also, there is some evidence that mothers may be able to pass microplastics through placenta into a developing fetus.
Let's check over the macabre condition of the maritime. The microscopic size of these plastic fragments gets them easily obtainable for ingestion. They choke digestive tracts, diminish the urge to eat, and alter feeding behavior, all of which reduce growth and reproductive output. Their stomachs stuffed with plastic, they painfully die. To give the spectators an idea of how menacing the microplastic problem has turned, here we are to present some statistics. Let us ponder upon some quick short stats. One study estimates that there are 15 to 51 trillion microplastics floating on the surface of the oceans alone. A single fleece jacket sheds up to 250,000 microfibers in one wash. Floating on the surface of the oceans alone.
We got a ton of messages on your social media or the phone through mere photos and videos elucidating about the current situation. But the reality is that we should be conscious and judicious. Let's keep the earth first and demolish the plastic free. Let's study the ways to reduce plastic. We can take small vicious steps like curtailing unnecessary single-use plastic, totally eliminating them, such as bottles, plastic chocolate bags, etc. Incineration of sewage sludge or solids can be done to avoid contamination by microplastics.
At the same time, there can be long-term solutions. More than 50% of damaged sludge is used as fertilizers, so the plastic caught in the sludge is returned back to the farmland. Remote sensing can support these visual selection methods using satellites, drones and cameras or sensors to detect and characterize plastic. Now we have talked about the preventive measures, but how can we reduce the plastic at its first place?
The answer to this is the cool coconut substitute for plastic. Did you know the number of straws used in USA alone can encircle the earth 2.5 times? This caters to a lot of pollution. To prevent this, we have our awesome coconuts. The straws are made up of coconut leaves that are dried and using chemical-free processes made hydrophobic.
The straws do not involve a single harmful substance and are prepared completely chemical-free. It is not soggy for 6 hours. Since they are made up of cocoa leaves, it utterly eliminates plastic. For evidence, even a startup plan in Bengaluru has been awarded the best for this idea. So this coconut is actually cool.
Can you think of a cucumber peel saving the world? Cucumber peels can actually reduce plastic. I'll tell you how. Cucumber peels have greater cellulose content than any other peel waste. Cellulose nanocrystals derived from these peels can be used for making food packaging material, which is biodegradable and has low oxygen permeability.
Also, plastics can be replaced by biopolymers. We can grind the lobster shells to obtain a powder from which biopolymer and chitin is extracted. It is mixed with vinegar to produce a solution of the same and finally molded into a plastic shape that is even biodegradable. It is the best alternative for single-use of plastic.
Over the next 10 years, the amount of marine plastics will double. And if we do not act, in 2050, the ocean will contain more plastic waste than fish by weight. So it's our time to turn the tide and strive together for a better future and reduce this microplastic pollution. Thank you. So it's our time to turn the tide and strive
Please
together
wait,
for a
children,
better
for
future
the
and
judges
reduce
to ask
this
you questions.
microplastic pollution.
Only then the next team will come up. Please wait, children. Rachna ma'am, over to you for the questions.
Okay, so I would be
Only then the next
asking
team
question to
will
the
come up.
current team who was presenting, those who were
Please
presenting
wait,
right
children.
now,
Rachna ma'am,
Aryan
over to
Pandey
you for the
and his
questions.
team. So I would like
Only then
to
the next
ask
team
Aryan
will come
that
up.
you were talking about the choking
Please wait,
of
children. Rachna ma'am, over to you for the
food
questions.
chains and foodware. Can you tell us that what is the phenomena of biomagnification in relation to this bioplastics?
Ma'am, these microplastics, they what actually do since they are, as I told it, they are very small in size. So what they actually do that they enter the fish through as they contain as small fishes might think that these small substances might be their food, so they eat it, and after even bigger fishes take in as their diet. This food chain increases day by day, and thus there is more and more pollution, microplastic pollution.
Aryan, I have a question here.
Yes, ma'am.
The fish who is taking the bioplastic in the first go, will it be having a more concentration of bioplastic or the largest fish which is going to be the last consumer of the bioplastic?
Ma'am, according to me, the last fish will have more content as the first will take a small amount, then it will be consumed by a larger one, and then it will go on, and thus the largest fish will have the most bioplastic content.
Oh, very good.
Ma'am, and if we bio amplify this whole process, ma'am, actually, ma'am, it starts off with just, ma'am, mere a little zooplankton. Then, ma'am, like tilapia and carp, they feed on them. Then, ma'am, large sharks, and then, ma'am, more bigger fishes, and finally, ma'am, in the largest fishes, they have a higher concentration. But, ma'am, if we catch them also, and they are now on our plate, then also we are now the plastic content is now more even than the largest fish. So it all ends up in our stomach.
Right.
What we food comes to us.
Okay, and this is called the phenomena of biomagnification.
Yes, ma'am. Bioamplification.
Bioamplification. Good, right. Okay, and this is called the phenomena of biomagnification.
Yes, ma'am. Bioamplification.
So now the first team should be here. Ma'am, any other question for this team?
It's okay. If Lalit sir would like to ask anything.
Yes. So now the first team should be here. Ma'am, any other question for this team?
It's okay. If Lalit sir would like to ask anything.
Yes. So now the first team should be here. Ma'am, any other question for this team?
It's okay. If Lalit sir would like to ask anything.
Yes.
Sangeeta ma'am, I think we should call the first team for the question round.
Right, ma'am.
We can have the first team first.
Sangeeta ma'am, I
Yes,
think we
ma'am.
should call the
Ma'am can
first
question
team
it.
for the
We
question
can
round.
have the students of the
Right,
first team. We can have the first team
Is
first.
Achyut there? Achyut
I
Kumar,
think we should
right?
call the
Ma'am can
Yes,
question
ma'am.
it.
for the
Okay.
question
We can have
round.
the
Achyut,
students
can
of
you
the first team.
expand what
We can
is
have the first team
PET?
first.
What is the meaning
Yes,
of
ma'am.
that
Ma'am can
Yes,
abbreviation?
ma'am.
question it.
PET.
Ma'am, PET is a ma'am, is a type of plastic which is used for creation of water bottles, as it has more flexibility and it has a greater transparency.
Okay. So, do you know what chemical it is made up of?
Mm,
Okay, Achyut. Would you like to take up another question?
yes, ma'am.
Okay, my next question is, we have heard a lot, food grade plastic. It is
Yes,
written
ma'am.
behind the difference. What do you understand by this food grade plastic?
Ma'am, food grade plastic is a type of plastic in which like it can withstand more. It does not take any of the chemicals mixed with. It does not mixes any of its chemical constituents with the food.
Oh,
It's less reactive with the food. That's why we call it food grade plastic. Otherwise, if we eat in other types of plastic, it may the chemical reaction may happen in those plastic, and hence it may be hazardous for our health.
okay, thank you.
Okay, now we can have the next team. The first two teams. So whenever the team is presenting, children, please wait till the judges ask you question, and then only the next team will come.
Hello, I hope you can see my screen.
It is not visible yet, Siddharth.
I have shared it.
Okay, wait for a second.
Siddharth, you can share again, beta. We are not able to see that.
It says share content, include computer sound.
Yes, it should.
Yes, I'm now it's giving me a black screen.
So wait for a second. Can any other team member from this group share the screen if he's having a problem?
Could you send in your name, please? We'll make you presenter.
Ma'am, it just says that share content. I click on share content. It opens a black screen on the lower part, and it says enable computer audio.
And then you put
nothing
it,
happens.
click on the desktop, then you click on the desktop, and then you start sharing.
I have opened the presentation from my side.
But you need to share this.
You know how to share? There is an upward arrow at the top.
Yes, ma'am, I have clicked on that.
And then enable audio system, and
Yes,
then
ma'am, I did
desktop,
that.
and then
And
desktop.
there's no desktop.
Then what is it?
And it's just black.
Okay, can any other
Perhaps
team
anybody
member?
else from this team come up so we can provide you with the presenter role and you can go on.
Anybody else from your school?
I have two participants.
Yes. So
Pulkit
the other one
Montian.
has the.
Yes,
other
I
one
did
has-
made it. I did made it.
But then you should have. Okay, then we'll have the other school, and you can try in the meanwhile.
I have mailed it to them. They should have it.
So you sort out the problem and then let us know in the chat window.
Okay.
We'll have Push VR present first, and then after that, DPS Sushantlo will follow. So, if the presenter from Push VR could share a screen, Dhruv Bandari. Yes, thank you.
Ma'am, yes, it is visible.
Yeah, it's visible, Bacha.
you know how much benefit could our economy receive globally if we shift to a circular economy? 1.8 trillion euros, which is twice that of the current development path. Yes, you heard it right. But then, why don't we shift to a circular economy?
Let's find out the answer through our presentation. Good afternoon, esteemed judges and all the participants. We, the team of three, Idea Meherwal, Dhruv Bhandari and Ritik Nagpal from AISPV are going to take you to the part of shifting from a linear economy to circular economy.
Humans, that is us, are growing fast in terms of design and infrastructure. Infrastructure began to develop as a means to provide us shelter and protect us from harsh climate. But in the 21st century, infrastructure has itself become harsh on the climate. This is because we still follow the path of linear economy.
Linear economic works on the fundamentals take, make and dispose. This means that the company take the resources from the environment, build the product using them, and then the product is disposed of by the customer after it is being used.
But how can we change our destructive ways and save the Mother Earth? By adopting a circular approach. Circular economy works on the fundamentals make, use, and return. Instead of throwing away the products, we give them back to the company. The company reuses the technical materials of that product and makes a new one. In return, it gives discounts or maintenance to the consumer at no extra cost. Such a model reduces the demand of raw materials, so less resources would be required, which would benefit the environment.
Skanska, which is one of the world's leading construction and project development companies, focused on the Nordic regions, Europe and USA. It aims to be climate neutral by 2050 and wants to use circular economy in order to do so.
In some of its contracts, Sakansaka has used low-carbon circular concrete using construction and demolition waste. In the same way, in Europe, industrial processes could lower construction costs by 50% through the methods of circular economy that would reduce the total annual cost by 0.9 trillion euros by 2030.
But it's not that easy. Companies would face barriers if they shift from a linear economy to a circular economy. There are two factors hindering its development: trained personnel and funding.
Let's talk about the first effort required. Shifting from a linear economy to a circular economy would require higher investment amounts. As in our case study, Sakansaka has currently taken loan from the bank and has paid the installments on time. Here, our team would like to give a proposal that the government bodies around the world should provide tax rebates to construction-based companies in setting up the inventory and machinery to implement circular economy.
Coming on the second effort required, trained personnel would require with high level skill set who would work with the technology advancement and high-end machines. Now coming back to our case study, Skanska also offers a variety of local and international opportunities for employees to learn and develop.
India recycles only 1% of construction waste, which is quite less. Only few companies in India follow circular economy in construction. One of them is Godrej Construction. It has processed over 10,000 tons of concrete debris. Other companies could also do so as circular economy has various benefits. Construction and demolition waste can be broken down into aggregates and sand, which could be again used in construction. Electronic wastes can be converted into BFR plastics, which are used in construction. Now, our team would like to give another proposal. The money saved laterally from the effective utilization of rubble could be used to make homes for the poor people that are below poverty line. Thus, circular economy could not only prevent the wastage of resources, but could also give shelter to the needy in an eco-friendly manner. Thank you.
Thank you.
That was a wonderful presentation, children. Rachna ma'am, would you like to ask them some questions?
Yeah, surely. Dhruv, here is a question for you. You talked about this company Skyska, which is doing or promoting the circular economics. Did you do research? What is the source of your research in this case? From where did
Ma'am,
you find this information?
yes, ma'am. Ma'am, the information was found from ma'am, information was found from a website ma'am, we found ma'am, it uh, ma'am, the sky
Ma'am,
it
we basically took most of the info from the official website of Sakansaka, and some of the other information were from trusted sources only.
Okay, okay, fine. So, do you know any other companies which are working on the same idea of circular economics in the field of manufacturing? Because manufacturing too adds on too many carbon footprints. So, you talked about this company which is working in the field of construction. So, basically, to push any economy of any country, you have a manufacturing and a area as like a thrust area. So have you researched on any company that is using this principle, which
Yes,
is from
ma'am.
the sector, manufacturing sector?
Yes, ma'am. When we were collecting all the information, ma'am, we found out that there is an Indian company, Unilever, which is thinking to shift from a circular to a circular economy, and it is planning for all the inventory and machinery required.
Okay, so I would like you to correct this information. Unilever is not an Indian company. Hindustan Unilever is the collaboration of Indian company and Unilever, which is a UK based company. Okay, so this was a good result. And one more thing that you in the last you spoke about using the material which is coming from the construction business in rebuilding the houses for the poor. Did you did you try to find out some eco prospects there which can enhance the value of the house but can reduce the carbon footprint? Did you come across anything like that?
Ma'am, for that we mentioned it in our presentation, like electronic waste could be converted into BFR plastics. So, ma'am, or ma'am, the sand could also again be used in construction. So, ma'am, all the material which was converted from rubble to something useful will provide the same kind of quality which it was earlier giving.
Okay. Thank you, Dhruv.
Thank you, ma'am. Have a nice day.
Thank you.
All right, before we move on to the next presentation, can we have the quiz, Advait?
Sure.
So we had a little bit of a break prepared for the participants. And since DBS Sushant Lok, the problem with DBS Sushant Lok's presentation has not yet been solved, we'll just go ahead with that.
Wait, I'm getting the same presentation problem that Sushant was getting. Should I send you the PPT and you can do it?
Advait, I have the PPT. I'll start sharing my screen. Give me a minute. Is it fine now? Advait?
Yes, ma'am, it's visible.
Yes.
Fine.
Okay. So, Dhruti, can we do polls? Is that possible? Or should we be doing hand raises?
Let's do the hand raises only, Advait. You may start.
Okay. So, the first question is, what is the estimated amount of plastic that enters our oceans annually? And I already saw this in a presentation. So,
So all those who know the answer can raise their hands.
So
And
we'll be
Anvil
going
can
with
then ask.
Ripunjay, Vashisht.
The answer, I guess, is 5 million ton.
No, it's 8 million ton.
All right, better luck next time.
Yeah.
Answering questions.
Next question. This was again in a presentation. I saw this. A single
Right,
flea
so
jacket is estimated to shed up to how many microfibers? Forgot to add here on a single wash.
we'll go with Achyut Kumar this time. And please lower your hands once you're done.
I think he lowered his hand, right? Do we have anyone who
All right,
knows?
then we'll go with Ripunjay, Vashisht.
Okay, guys, up the energy. I want to see more hands here.
I guess 250.
Yes, that is the correct answer. Okay, what is the estimated amount of plastic that a tire sheds each 100 kilometers? Because nowadays you have rubber and plastic hybrid tires. So, how much plastic do they shed every 100 kilometers?
Anyone would like to answer that?
Come on, children, you can try it out.
We have one student, Lakshay Devgan. Would you like to answer?
Yes, ma'am. Is it 20 grams?
Yes, it is 20 grams.
Nice.
Next question. What is the estimated annual percentage rise in plastic consumption each year?
Anybody with the answer?
By the way, this is also open to the teachers, so they could try if they want to.
Okay. Can anybody else who hasn't answered already try once? Like, right.
We have
So
Aryan
Aryan
Pandey.
Pandey. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it 11%?
No, 9%. Close, but not there. Last question. What is the estimated number of macro and microplastic pieces in the ocean right now? We again have Ripunjay. Okay, Siddharth, your turn.
It's 5.25.
Yeah, 5.25 trillion. That is correct. And with that, we're done with the quiz.
Right, so
thank you so much.
So if Sushant Lok is not ready, we can have Amity Mayur Vihar.
Ma'am, I have mailed the presentation to Dhriti, and if you could please share it and I could request the control.
Yeah, I'll be sharing and you can tell me when you want to change the slide.
Okay.
And, yeah, just give me a second.
I can also request control. Right, so
All right, I hope the PPT is visible. You can start with your presentation.
yeah, okay. Thank you. Good evening, respected panel of judges. My name is Siddharth Nair, and together with my friends Pulkit Mohanty and Rishit Gupta, I'm representing my school DPS Sushant Lok. We have chosen the theme microplastics. Now, Rishit, how about you tell us a little more about them and what they can do to us?
Yeah, sure, Siddharth. Microplastics are plastic fragments. It's just.
Yeah, give me a second. It's giving a technical error.
Yeah, it's just request control is disabled by the sharer company's administrator.
Yeah. All right.
May I please go back?
Maybe it's not working this way.
A bit of lag. I apologize for that.
And Dhriti, can we have Mayur Vihar? In the meantime, you people can try up some option if possible.
Yes, I'll try to join from the web instead of the app if that works.
So is Amity Mayur Vihar? Are you people ready?
Yes, ma'am,
Yes,
I
ma'am.
can start presenting.
Yes, yes.
Yes,
Then you
yes.
can start your presentation. Is there any audio in your PPT? Then we are not getting that. So you can
No,
share the
ma'am,
system.
there's no audio
Okay.
right now.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Hi, Mithil and Lakshay. I've recently read an article stating that dead carcasses of fish have been found on the shoreline of various seas containing pieces of plastic in their gut region.
Oh no, it's sad.
Hello, Arkan and Lakshay. Yes, it's sad. Many other incidents such as this have been happening across the globe. All this has happened due to microplastics.
Oh, what are microplastics?
Well, microplastics are particles smaller than a thumbnail, and it can't be even seen by naked eyes. Microplastics damage the surroundings.
I wonder how they're formed.
It's simple. They are formed when big chunks of plastic waste breaks into small fragments. And there are also two types of plastics. The first category is primary microplastics used for commercial uses like fishing, etc. The second category is secondary microplastics that are the fragments of larger plastic items such as water bottles.
Now I understand. Are there any countries affected by microplastics waste?
Let me answer.
Yes, Lakshay, you may answer.
China is one of the countries that has been worst affected by microplastic waste in its freshwater ecosystems. Not only the citizens are at stake, but the whole ecosystem is on stake. As the microplastic is also found in coral reef systems situated in the South China Sea, and microplastics are also ingested by a range of organisms and also die due to the impact of leaching of these toxic microplastic waste. And Indonesia is also one of the countries worst affected by microplastic waste. But here in Indonesia, microplastics are found on people's food tables, as these microplastics are eaten by planktons, which in turn are eaten by manta rays and whale sharks. And when these manta rays and whale sharks are served for dining, these microplastics enter the person's body and cause severe health issues.
What problems do we face from microplastics?
These microplastics block the supply of water chains and in turn endanger supply of water to people of various countries. Aquatic animals die due to ingesting microplastics as they affect the behavior of an individual and alter their feeding habits.
Are there any solutions to microplastics?
Yes, there are various solutions wherein scientists have devised a way to use bacteria to eliminate microplastics from water.
How is it done?
Ideanola cycanaceae. This bacteria could be really helpful as we humans cannot see microplastics, but this bacterium is capable of eating plastics. But research is still going on.
That is a very good solution to microplastics. Are there any more solutions?
Yes, I also want to suggest a way. As we know that microplastics are very harmful, thus its disposal would be a good option.
That is right.
What we can do is that we can use ferrofluids or magnetic fluids and add them in water, which would make the plastic in the water accumulate and float at the top. And that plastic can be easily skewed from the top. The plastic content which would be left in the water, prominently the polypropylene, is completely harmless and won't cause considerable damage to the user. We can reuse the ferrofluids by simply removing it using electromagnets.
Is it safe to use these ferrofluids?
Yes, to make it safer, we can make magnetic fluids using two ingredients, vegetable oils and some iron filings.
Okay.
We are targeting water treatment plants as it provides us with the technology to skew and remove any impurities caused by both ferrofluids or plastic. Talking about the economic value of ferrofluids in water treatment plants is that as we know that ferrofluids can be easily reused multiple times, and also the electromagnet used to remove these fluids can also be reused. Thus, this plus point makes use of ferrofluids desirable and also beneficial for the economy. The impact of ferrofluid technology would change water treatment industry, as use of ferrofluids in water treatment plants would help in providing better quality of water to communities who suffer from waterborne diseases in the future.
This technology would surely change the quality of the water.
I hope that these solutions would bring considerable results in eliminating microplastics.
Yes, I also hope that once Earth would be free from microplastics.
In the end, we would like to thank all the teachers to give us such an opportunity to present our ideas and innovation in this competition. Thank you.
Thank you.
Uh, Thank you, children. That was a lovely presentation. Rachna ma'am, do you have any questions for the team?
As of now, I would like any physics person to ask something because they were talking about ferrofluids. So anyone, if
Lalit sir is here. Lalit sir, would you like to ask something?
Uh, Maybe, ma'am, we can have the next team. Dhriti, you can call upon the next team and we can have the question round for this team later on.
Yes, mom. Mom, the only team left is DP Sushantlok. I believe the problem got solved. So, Siddharth, if you could share.
Yeah, it should be visible now.
Yes, it
Yeah,
is.
it's visible.
Yes, it is. Go on.
Thank God.
All
Good
right.
evening, respected panel of judges. My name is Siddharth Nair, and together with my friends Rishit Gupta and Pulkit Mohanty, I'm representing my school DPS Sushant Lok in this event. We have chosen the theme microplastics. So, Rishit, how about you tell us a little more about what they are and what they can do to us?
Shows that. So microplastics are plastic fragments that are less than 5 millimeter in length. So how do they affect us? Due to their very small size, they can easily enter natural ecosystems through clothes, cosmetics, or even through direct human consumption through canned food or seafood. So how do they harm us? Microplastics, if ingested, can physically damage our internal organs and result in release of chemicals like bisphenol A, which can cause imbalances in the body and compromise immune function, growth, and reproduction. So how can we protect ourselves? We should start using alternatives to plastics like jute and like paper and jute, use natural fragrances like jasmine and rose, and keep care of hygiene in our houses. Over to Siddharth.
Thank you. Now, another thing that can be done is to use natural exfoliants in place of plastic microbeads in beauty products. There's over 5 trillion pieces of plastic in the ocean. Now, Pulkit, how about you tell us how they can affect marine life?
Yeah, so researchers have warned us for the presence of microplastics in oceans and in marine animals for almost about 50 years. And due to this small sizes, microplastics may be ingested by marine organisms. And when ingested, microplastics enter their circulatory system and accumulate different types of tissues. It can also affect their immune system both chemically and physically, blocking their digestive tracts and preventing them from feeding on other organisms. Hence, their ecology and behavior could also be affected.
Thank you, Pulkit. Polyethylene terephthalate, also known as PET plastic, is the most common form of plastic in the world. It is also the most recycled plastic in the USA. More than half of it ends up in landfills anyway. The polymer's strong bonds resist breakdown and it stays in the soil for over 1,000 years. Discovered by Kohei Oda and Kenji Miyamoto, Ideonella sakaiensis is the world's first PET-eating bacterium. It secretes two enzymes which break down the plastic into simpler substances. One challenge with this bacterium, though, is that its habitat is very limited. However, modern science has made it possible for the genes of Ideonella sakaiensis be mixed with the genes of Azotobacter, which is another bacterium, so that it can thrive in conditions like the ocean and the soil, which is where majority of the plastic is. Another approach we can take to this problem is reverse engineering. Pyrolysis is a technique which involves heating a substance to a very high temperature in the absence of oxygen under pressure. We find that when this is done to plastic, it can be converted into fuels and oils, which is then used by humans. It is, however, more expensive than traditional techniques. Here's what we propose. Companies selling products with plastic components or packaging pay a tax to the government. The government uses this tax to fund collection centers where you can go and deposit plastic and earn some money according to the weight of the plastic deposited. The plastic from there goes to recycling plants where it is either recycled or disposed of safely. The companies can then buy back the recycled plastic for their products. It is also a form of circular economy if you see. Another advantage of this system would be that the companies using plastic components would be discouraged to continue doing so and would look for alternatives because the products with plastic would have a higher shelf price and the consumer would buy alternatives at a cheaper price. Thank you.
Thank you for that wonderful presentation. Now we'll move on to questions. Rachna ma'am, if you have any questions for the team.
Yeah, so I have a question for Siddharth. Siddharth, you were talking
Yes, ma'am.
about plastic eating bacteria,
Yes, ma'am.
right? So, is there any, have scientists come up with any strain of bacteria?
Sorry, what of bacteria?
I am saying you talked about a plastic eating bacteria. Is this bacteria really working or is it in a process of getting developed?
So what happened was that in 2016, there were these researchers who were testing plastic. And so they picked up this sample from a PET contaminated area in Japan. They found this bacterium which was converting the plastic into simpler substances.
They found this bacterium. So are you
Yes,
saying
they found it.
Is it a naturally occurring bacteria? You mean to
Yes,
say
ma'am,
this?
it's a natural occurring bacteria. It was not created. They found it in a PET contaminated field. However, the problem with it is that it can take a little too much time for it to break down the plastic. But what they are trying to do right now is it secretes an enzyme known as PETase, which is PETase. And they are mixing it with another enzyme known as MHETase. And so what this would do is break down the plastic faster because we as humans are very like in a rush always. So
Okay. So you mean to say that they are changing the genetics of this naturally
yes, and
occurring
they're genetically
bacteria?
modifying it to fit our needs.
Okay, okay. My one more question to you. Do you know any artificially created bacteria which can work upon oil spills and can remove the oil spillage over the oceans and the seas?
No,
Are you
ma'am, I have
aware?
not. No, ma'am, because
Okay,
it's,
okay,
this
thank
is
you.
out of my knowledge. Sorry.
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, Rishna ma'am, we have one more team for questioning. AIS Mayur Vihar.
Can AIS Mayur Vihar children join so that we can have a question answer round for them?
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, please switch on your cameras, children.
Am I visible, ma'am?
Yes, you are.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so my question to you team would be that you were talking about the methodology by which we can remove you were talking about ferrofluids.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so can you tell us exactly that what is this fluid? What is the composition of this fluid?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, so ferrofluids are basically magnetic fluids. And first, I'll explain the composition, then the process, how it would be implemented and how it works. So, ma'am, the basic composition is iron oxide and magnetite, which is added in this. And there are various types of other ferrofluids like cobalt, ferrite, etc. And the process by which ferrofluids would remove and remove the microplastics from water is like when we will add ferrofluids in the water, it would take some time, and then the iron oxide the present in the ferrofluids would act as a magnet, and that would attract microplastics around it, basically the non-organic compounds of plastic, which are petrochemicals, etc. So it would attract those and would form a thin sheet, and as plastic is buoyant than water, so it would start flowing up the water. And as water treatment plants also have a technology to skew the residue which is on the top, that floats on the top, so we'll use that technology and we'll just skew the plastic out. And also we can use an electromagnet to remove both the ferrofluids afterwards.
Okay, so have you calculated the cost of this application? That if
Ma'am,
you wish
let
to
me
apply
explain.
the
Yes, ma'am.
yes.
Ma'am, to calculate the cost, first of all, we need to test it in the lab that how much liquid would require, how much ferrofluid would be required to be added in water so that we can multiply and estimate the value accordingly.
And ma'am, one more thing is that as we added in our PPT also, that these ferrofluids can be reused again and again, and also the electromagnet that can be used to remove the microplastics as well as the ferrofluids from the water can be reused again. So calculating, so this is a good point. This is a plus point for the economic impact of this ferrofluids.
Okay, okay. So is this the original idea, or have you like taken this idea from any case study which you have studied somewhere?
Ma'am, actually, a few laboratories are starting working on this. Like we read in a laboratory that was working on this. The research is still going on, but we started. Yeah, yes, ma'am. But we started looking about the case studies, and China and other countries are also starting to apply this. But still, the
Okay,
research is. Yes, ma'am.
okay. Thank you so much.
Welcome, ma'am.
Right. So this marks the end of the presentations for exhibition. No doubt, the judges have a very difficult decision ahead of them. The results would be announced in the closing ceremony on the 24th, so stay tuned for that. So finally, I would like to thank our esteemed judge for her time and wisdom. I would like to also thank our teachers and the participants for making this event such an enticing one. I would also like to extend our gratitude to our principal ma'am and would like finally end this and be seeing you on 24th. So stay
Before
safe and
you
keep
end
things
the
well.
session, Tanish, before you end the session, I would request Rachna ma'am if you would like to say some words on the presentations that you saw today. Your concluding remarks.
Yes, well, for sure, I would like to congratulate all the students. They have really worked very well on their PPTs, and like their work was showing their research. And moreover, some of the PPTs were quite like congested. So I would just suggest if like you can like make a very a bigger kind of a font and a lesser content so that you speak more and you refer to the PPT only for points. And the second thing which I would like you to notice that while you are researching, pay always good attention to the source of your information, and you should be able to quote that source of information. So this is another suggestion, but at the end it was a like a very well presented information on the topic, and I have learned a lot from your presentation. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am, for being here and for encouraging the students. It's always a pleasure to have you and a privilege also. I thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you, ma'am, for being here. Children, as Tanish said, we'll have the judgment informed to you, or the prizes will be informed to you on 24th in the closing ceremony. So all of you are requested to be a part of that. Today we will end the session. And a very big thank you to all of you and all the participants, as well as all the teacher in charges who were here. Thank you all. Richa ma'am, we can stop the recording.
Ma'am, I've stopped it and now I'll end the session. Thank you so much, children. Thank you, Rachna ma'am, and all the other guests.